Hi and welcome to the showcase of my game. I just named it the Irish Road Project because I didn't really have a proper name for it, but living in Ireland all my life I just found trains very interesting and decided to make a game based around Irish trains in particular. So starting off, before we even get into the game, I just wanted to show some of my models I made for it. Most of them are model of trains and things from actual trains and stations in Ireland. For example, we have the Dart here, which I modelled, and this is modelled off the actual Dart in Ireland. Some of the faster trains, but also modelled off real life trains, like this one. I also have more basic things such as a little information display that you find at some of the stations, and some other things such as the track. You also have more basic things like speed limits and normal signals you can see, and waiting areas, all sorts of things for different platforms and stations, and then some items I made for just in the background, like this mini city that I could just place in the background and give materials. As you can see, none of them have materials or renders or anything. I just created them so I could place them in Unity and then assign materials when I was there, just to make it a bit easier. The game has 7 total builds from the first to the last. It took about a month to make the game in its entirety. It isn't completely finished, as there are some areas in the map that are not done, some bridges that I haven't built or modelled, but and the menu isn't exactly finished as well. But here we have the 3 trains that I showed earlier. I'll start off with the Dart. Controlling the Dart is very simple. It's simply reverse, neutral, and forwards. And this is a little power slider on the left. And this is supposed to be model of trains in real life and how they work. So I had to do a bit of research on how actual trains work and how controls work for them. So I'm just going to pull forwards. And here we have the conductor, who I'm planning to add a sprite in here which will show his face, but for now just cute. And we'll just talk through different things about the routes and like what you're supposed to do. The timetable is found on the top left, so as you can see, the first station is Kilbarrack, and I'm supposed to arrive in about 10 seconds or so it needs to stop. Cool. And I'm supposed to leave in 1 minute, so I'm just going to open up the doors. The doors are on the other side, so you can't really see them. There's also other information on your screen, such as your speed, current speed, and then your current speed limit. You also have the distance to the next signal, which is right here. As you can see, it's green. It's green. I'm just going to close the doors and get going because I'm trying to keep this very short. So as you can see, as you accelerate, this little slider will tell you how much you're accelerating by. So if I to hit the brakes, it's that I'm deaccelerating, whereas if I accelerate, that makes me accelerating. I'm going to stay below the speed limit because I'm speeding. And I have about 300 meters to the next station. Because as I approach the station, I'm going to zoom out a bit so I can see it in my periphery, so I know how much to slow down by. I try to keep a good balance between the game being realistic with the controls, but not being super over the top and you need to go training to play the game. I try to keep it simple with just basic sliders to teach you how much you need to hit the brakes by and stuff. As well as that, you can jump to any area of the train just by clicking on it, so you can go to the back if you want to. Then we also have other areas of the game, such as the second train I have here. I'll just go to the first level. As you can see here, we have the trains and a bit of a nighttime scene. And as I said, I put materials on all of the models in Unity. And this train has a bit more of a different dynamic than the Dart, where it has a diesel engine and different braking systems indicated by this brake cylinder on the left, where instead of just applying brakes normally, the train has to build up braking pressure and then apply it to the train. So that is realistic to how the train actually works in real life. Most of the audio, including the sound of the trains, are actually sampled from trains in Ireland, from the actual trains themselves, so I just try to keep that realistic in itself. As well as I think things like the smoke coming out of the train when you ramp up the engine and stuff. Just to showcase the final train, here we have the ICR. As you can see, this is a 5-car unit, which is the most common I found in Ireland. Again, all the audio comes from the actual train in real life. Each train has different dynamics, as I said earlier. For example, this train is also diesel, but it has less acceleration than the previous train, but it has a higher top speed. As well as that, it's a brake cylinder. It takes a bit longer to fill up, as you can see. It just takes a bit longer, which makes it a bit more difficult to gauge your stops, which is the point of the train. It's supposed to be a bit more difficult to drive than the previous one. And this is just to get different difficulties from different trains to make it more interesting to drive different trains. Not just the same thing, but a different model. I also have a fully fledged tutorial to teach you how to drive the trains, and shows you how everything works and all the sliders and everything. Teaches you how the signals work and how the map works and everything. In essence, that is the game. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next game.